All right, folks, what is going on? It's episode 367 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today, we're going to jump back and talk about some Atlanta Falcons football. We're going to talk more about a player, AJ Terrell. We're going to talk about, him and why I feel that he is the face of the Atlanta Falcons. We're going to get into all of that. Also, I'm going to give you my reasons of why he is, and we're going to talk a little bit more about his game and what does it mean for the team for him to be the face at such a young age. I think this is a really good move. We're going to talk all about that. If this is your first time here, welcome. Like I said, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football on YouTube and on Rumble, so you can listen to either one on those platforms. But if you want the podcast side of things, I am on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So you can find all those avenues to subscribe to the show and listen at your leisure. I will definitely appreciate it if you don't mind hitting the like button. If you're on YouTube, give me a high star rating on that star chart if you're on Apple, because I try my best to give the best content possible. Hopefully you guys will agree and give me some good feedback. Even give me some bad feedback. Let me know what I can do that's better for the show. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. AJ Terrell, man, what can you say about him? I mean, this kid has done a phenomenal job. A lot of people were not really high on him when he was drafted because of the fact that the whole LSU game, and I mean, who was stopping the LSU team at that time? I mean, Joe Burrow and company was just running roughshod on everybody. But nevertheless, AJ Terrell was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, and the first year was okay, but that second year, when he was able to establish himself as a shutdown corner, only giving up, very, very few yards. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know. I don't have the stats up here with me, but I feel like I think it was just one time that he's gave up, a handful of yards. Let me get back. Okay, I see it right here. It says he's only given up 23 receptions on 52 targets for the whole season last year. He's only allowed 150 yards in those 23 catches. I mean, there's been some times where some guys have not had any yards. You also had some guys had one catch or fewer. I put it like this. I'm going to say it like this. AJ Terrell has allowed one catch and fewer than 10 yards in 4 straight games at one point. I think that's like absolutely phenomenal. But with that being said, get off the stats for a little bit. We look at now, we don't have a quarterback. I ain't gonna say we don't have a quarterback. We don't have a quarterback that's gonna be the face of the franchise as of right now. I mean, I think the jury is out on Desmond Ridder. I think he can be. He says the right things and he looks like he's on his way. But since Matt Ryan is gone, we need somebody who could be the forefront of this team that can actually represent this team properly. And I don't see that there's no one else better than AJ Terrell for this team. And it's kind of unique because you don't really hear like cornerbacks, the ones that are doing this, and a guy at such a young age. So he's taking a role. I believe he's taking a role of some veteran type of just a veteran role. I know I went all around the bush to say that, but yeah, it seems like he's taking on a veteran role and done a pretty good job at it. You've seen him do all these interviews. He's been the spotlight of the red helmet reveal, and every time you turn around, it's something about AJ Terrell is being spewed and put out there for the fans to see. I think this is a phenomenal move because you got a guy who is so young. I think he's like 23, 24 right now. Been highly productive for the team, and he's basically one of the bright spots on the team. Not necessarily saying that he's the leader of the team or the leader of the defense, whatever the case may be. But when you talk about the Atlanta Falcons, you put AJ Terrell out there. For him to be just as productive and at a young age, and for him being from the area, you understand, he went to Westlake High School. He's from the Atlanta vicinity. So what that is selling, like, look, you're selling you're selling some type of pitch to get others to come to the team. And this is a phenomenal time to do so, which I'll get into a little bit later. But for him to take this role, I think it's a perfect move for the Falcons, because you're talking about a kid that was actually able to perform at a high level. I mean, he didn't have all the interceptions. I mean, You got some cornerbacks out here that's getting a lot of interceptions, but he's literally shutting down number one receivers. They're not getting any catches, they're not getting any yards, and in some cases the quarterback's not even looking their way. You're giving up in some cases for every team that the Falcons, us Falcons face. Their number one receiver is pretty much a non-factor based on AJ Terrell and what he was able to do. I mean, I know it's not a bright spot for the team because we went 7-10 last year, but when you look at the body of work this kid has done last year, it's nothing short of phenomenal. What does that do for the rest of the team? I think in some cases this galvanizes the rest of the team to want to, stand and, get behind him and push him to be in a leadership role at some point. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't see AJ Terrell, leaving his team no time soon. All that cap space next year, I don't know. I don't think his contract is up. But when you have all that cap space, I see this kid getting an extension immediately. You don't let a kid like this, you don't let a player like this walk out the door to another team. That just doesn't happen. So you're getting other players that could push this kid, this player to be a leader for the Falcons down the road. 2-3 years later, for him to be a vocal point for the team. And whoever's ever in the area of marketing, who is ever in the area of promotion, they're doing a phenomenal job. Because I can't think of anybody else who you would want to put out there to be like the face of the team. I mean, Mariota, like I said, possibly. I don't know about that. Desmond Ridder, yeah, I could see that happening because he's the new young quarterback. Deion Jones, we don't know what his status is. Grady Jarrett, we've used, Grady Jarrett has been using those positions before. So that's not a bad look. But when you look at other veterans on the team, AJ Terrell is not like a veteran because I think he's in his third. I think he's in the third year. He's not necessarily a veteran, but he's put up the game. He put up the numbers game in and game out to show that he can be that guy to actually do something and be a game changer on this team. So why not put him up there? And before I close, I want to say this. I want to put this out here for you guys. AJ Terrell, with him being a local kid, a local player, a guy from the local area of Atlanta, with that pitch is going to get other players that want to come to this team. It all ties into, okay, we got a lot of cap space. You got a guy from the area, loves the team. He's at home basically. It's going to lure other people that want to come to the team because it feels like, okay, even if I'm not from the area, I got a guy here that can show me around, or I may know he may know things I don't know. He could pitch this, he could sell instance where some guys, may, want to come to the team because of what he knows. So it works out very well for the team. I think this is a very good move. I mean, I don't know if there's any talks, but based on what I've seen, I think this is a very good move for the for the Falcons. I think we've done a pretty good job at marketing because we needed a whole shift. We needed a whole change once the Matt Ryans of the world is gone, Julio Jones of the world is gone, Calvin Ridley has been suspended. You got other players that's no longer here. Foye Oluokun, which could have been one of those guys that could have been a face because Oluokun, his name is unique, but his name rings when you hear it. People can, jump on the back of that if he was a prominent player for this team, but he's no longer with us. But AJ Terrell is that guy. I mean, he's the guy. He's walked the walk, and with his promotion of now or being the face of the team, maybe he could talk as well. So what does this mean for the team in general? Like I said, the team, that's the way it is now. Other guys could be able to galvanize behind him, can actually be able to show him that he can be a leader, show him that everybody is in support of him. Because, I'm not really sure, and I don't know anything behind the scenes. Maybe one day I'll be able to. But I'm pretty sure this is something that just didn't come up and say, hey, AJ, you want to do this? You want to be the face of the team. You want to go do this promotion and this, that, and the third. I don't think it's something like. I think this was a collective effort from a lot of people within, the organization. One person just doesn't make this. One person just don't make this decision. You have a collective amount of people. Probably some of them are players. Some people are probably a part of the promotion and marketing. It's a little bit of everything. And for him to have this opportunity, I think it's great. I can't wait to see what he's going to be able to do at the end of the day. Not only with just him being the face of the team, but if he's able to perform at a high level like he did this past season, it just, trust me, more eyes are going to be on this team, and more people are going to want to watch and see what the Falcons are about. And with this team being pretty much restructured all around with new personnel, it's going to be really interesting. If he's able to perform at a high level and help the team, get some points on the board and possibly win some games, it could be a situation where this plays dividends for everybody. And like I said, with him doing this, I don't see him leaving this franchise. I see him getting an extension for another 4 to 5 years. So off his rookie deal, he could probably play for us for another 4, maybe another 5, depends on, what is needed of him throughout the team. And I just think it's a good thing. It's awesome. This is nothing that you don't have to hang your head down and look like you're moping and, you're unhappy about it. This is really good. Young coach come in, young GM comes in, cleans out the cap space. You got to eat on it for right now, but next year you're going to be cleaning that out. You got guys that are here that wants to play throughout all the rookies in the second team, not the second team, but the second season players that was drafted before this season. You got those guys are coming in that wants to be, helpful and all this other and all the stuff behind that. And you got a kid that just is this young is actually able to be the face and do interviews and let people know where his mind is at. And for the rest of the team, they could benefit off of a young guy that is talented, that is able to be, to reach out to the media and back it up with this play. Because if he backs it up with this play, like I said, it's just going to continue to build the brand not only for himself, but possibly for the rest of the guys on the team and the team itself. So this is great. I talked about the numbers, what he's capable of doing, what he has done, the people that he have shut down throughout the 2021 season. I would love to see more of that. I definitely would love to see more of that. This is just absolutely, this is a really good move. This is a really good move by the Falcons. I think the Falcons, for the most part, have done they had a very good offseason. They made all the right moves. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. If you like this content, the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like I said, this is the First and Frame Rate show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern, Atlanta Falcons football. We touched on Atlanta Falcons football today. If you want to watch this podcast, I'm on YouTube and Rumble. If you want to listen to it, I am on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. You can check all that stuff out. Fairly short podcast, but usually on Fridays, that's how I try to keep it. I try to keep it pretty shorter and simple. I want you guys to enjoy your weekend. I want you guys to take time for yourself, hang out with your folks, and have a good time. I will be back on Monday unless if something drastic happens. I'll make a video over here so you guys will keep me up to date and give me all my thoughts and opinions about things. And I will see you guys on Monday. You guys have a great weekend. You guys take it easy. You guys be blessed. Peace.